Yeah. I mean, and that's happened. That's happened to me, you know. And honestly, when like right around the time that I met you, the first year that we worked together, I wasn't out. My friends knew, my closest friends knew that I was attracted to guys, but I wasn't out, which led to me dating someone, in the workplace. And then it was around this time, 10 years ago, that news article came out where I did that interview. And I mean, we all know screenshots and pictures were taken and sent to everyone at work, you know, and
Dude.
all of
Oh
a
my
sudden,
God.
all of a sudden, I'm outed to everyone at work.
Hey, welcome back to Too Hard, Too Fast, the podcast with strong opinions about things that we may or may not know too much about. Hey, it's Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. 2H2Fers. Hi, we're back with David Alfaro. We're opening up about a lot of good conversations and topics. We're just gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going. So you know what? Let's just sit back, buckle up, and let's go. Too hard, too fast. Right back into it. Boom.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome to Too Hard, Too Fast.
Too hard, too fast.
Too hard, too fast.
Too hard, too fast.
Welcome to Too Hard, Too Fast.
Hey, welcome back to Too Hard, Too Fast, also known as the words you never want to hear after a grinder hookup.
Welcome back. George have had one or two of those.
The podcast of the century.
Right. Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
see, that's a whole other thing because I don't know if it's just look, we're both male teachers, which is very.
What grade do you teach, David? If you don't mind me asking, or if
now I teach middle school.
middle school. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You guys are in the same campus?
No, I left. I work for another district now, and now I'm a athletic coordinator and a PE teacher.
Oh, nice. Hey, sorry. Hey, David, this is my dog right here. So.
Oh, what up? Boy or girl?
Boy.
What's his name?
Pop for Popovich. So his full name's Popovich, but yeah.
Nice, loyal.
Hey, speaking of that, can I tell you why George doesn't like boy dogs, dude? Can I tell him, George? No,
Yeah. It's not a. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think so. Maybe say it. If it comes out weird, I'll cut it out.
And maybe because me growing up, I had a male dog growing up and stuff, and you know what I mean. But George, he would always get a female dog, man, because you don't want their dick touching your leg. And I'm like, hey, bro, that's a little bit homophobic, but I'm on whatever. It's all good.
No, man.
Yeah,
that's just real stuff, man.
I don't mind his dick touching my leg. It's all good.
We don't we have 4 dogs, and three of them are female, and that's the whole reason why we don't like male dogs. Because they get excited too easily.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I like to cuddle up with my dog, and right there. And the next thing is I don't want something digging into my rib over here.
Yeah, you don't want that pink lipstick coloring all over your ribs.
And I don't mean this offensively, but my dog isn't gay. All right, he only goes for the female dogs, all right. And with me, if I try to hug him, he'll let me for a little bit, but then he wants to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would never. He never gets excited, I guess.
He's still a puppy. He's finding himself.
No, but dude, he always goes for the female dogs though. So.
Yeah.
It's because you're putting that kind of pressure on him.
Male dogs,
stop putting that kind of pressure on him. Let him decide what he wants.
Right.
Well, okay, very quick, and this is the but my so I go with my friend. He has a little pug, also a male. The pug always tries licking his thing, right? And Pop will be like, okay, for a little bit, but then he'll get mad. He's like, dude, like, stop it.
It's probably because he likes it and he doesn't want you to see that he likes it.
He's watching. He's watching me.
I mean, I don't care either way.
I meant
sorry,
to do that on the
sorry for going off topic.
No, that was funny, dude. That was a good. That was good shit.
Right,
but I was gonna say when you mentioned about the work and the workplace of how everything blew up, like we as guys, it's already weird. You almost never see it. I feel like I'm constantly being told you just never see a guy teacher. You almost never see a guy teacher.
Well, yeah, in the elementary setting, they're rare.
I guess so too. That's probably But
Yeah.
I remember when I started there, and it was, I don't know why, and I don't, maybe it was the because of the times or because of a certain principle we had. But as soon as the guy started, all the females would say, "Is he gay? Is he gay? Is that why he's
No,
here?"
you're right.
And I kind of was like,
I'm sorry for laughing. I feel bad now.
"No, well, I mean, it's fun. You can laugh."
No, but it's funny because that's how the women in the workplace thought, because our principal was a gay man, and so they automatically assumed that any guy that got hired was gay.
Yeah. But and you know, I didn't have a good working relationship with that principal anyways, but he hired me and I'm glad he did. I'm like very grateful that he did hire me. But yeah, it was just weird that it's like, oh, is he gay? Or you know, whatever, for whatever reason, is he gay? It's like, why is that the first expectation of? And I still remember, like, I think even to now, like, I can't joke around with certain topics or whatever because it's like, oh, you're gay or what? It's
Yeah.
like what is that? What is it? You know what? I am
Why should it
comfortable with
matter though, right?
Well, it's like I'm comfortable with certain stuff, and I'm comfortable with joking about certain things, and I'm also comfortable saying, "Hey, this guy's a fucking good-looking guy," and that's it. You know what? He's a
He
good-looking
says that
guy.
to me all the time. Thank you, George. I appreciate
You're a
it.
Your
good-looking
secrets are
guy.
coming out, man. That's what's happening. It's a good
Dude,
way
when
to-
we were in the dorms, dude, I'd be showering. He's like, "Hey, man, you're a good-looking guy." I'm like, "All right, thank you,
I
George."
thought I locked that door.
That's what you get for not locking the door.
So I'm really a cover for your guys' coming out story. That's what I hear.
They're coming out party. You're invited, David.
Hey, we even did a cruise ship together. Is that?
Oh my God, we're just making it worse.
That's fucking gay.
we
Oh,
always
hey,
snap,
very quick, but just because you said it, David, I just found this so funny. I
we
remember
always
one
snap
time.
po to po and ho to ho.
No, I
Never
just,
po to ho.
huh?
Just kidding. I'm gonna cut that out. Cut that out.
Okay. Well, one of our fraternity brothers, he was openly gay and stuff, right? And so I just remember me and a friend, we went to something and stuff, and then we're all leaving, I guess, this event or whatever. So we're going, and so he parks we're at the red light together. So hey, we all look at each other, and me and my friend, we just pretend to make out. So our fraternity brother, who really is gay, he texts us, dude, that was fucking gay.
Yeah.
Found that so funny.
Yeah, well, we can say that. That's the thing.
Right.
Well, so, yeah. Like the guy, I don't know if it's the same one guy, but we've
He
had
works
him
at
on the
your
podcast,
show?
and we talked about him about. He was the one that told me. Actually, there was another friend that came up to me that said that's really offensive. I hate when you use the word gay in that way, but he came very like offensive, and so I got defensive, even though I was in the wrong. But then when I talked to my friend about it, like I'm closer to him, I was like, "Hey man, dude, does it offend you?" He goes, "It doesn't offend me because I'm okay with stuff like that, but I can see how it offends other people, and
Right.
also like people that may not even know you. Like if we're out in public and you say something like that, then it will offend them, and you know they might react in a different way, and it may not be a good situation." So we had a good, you know, kind of heart to heart to it. When he finished it, he goes, "But stop being gay."
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, "Dude," he goes, "I can say that."
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, fair enough, fair enough." But no, yeah, I work, and I wanted to ask if it ever affects your career nowadays, or
No.
even then, like at that moment of like when that article came out. I know when that article came out, I don't know if it was just for us because we were working with you, and it just felt like it blew up like wildfire.
Yeah.
Well, hey, can you guys explain the article? I don't know what you guys.
Yeah. So about 10 years ago.
Like what, they just put you on blast or what?
No. I sat
It
on
was
a
called ousting our teachers.
Ousting our Texas teachers.
Oh shit! What does that mean?
The
I mean,
210
we're not
edition.
going after your star scores. We're going out. We're getting you out of the closet.
No, so yeah. So what happened is my buddy, one of my friends, he was the like I don't know what the title is, but like the manager of the library downtown. And for Pride Month, he had a series of seminars of guests coming in to speak, and one was like gay athletes because that's when at first I can't remember his name, but that first basketball player came out, and he was still playing professional basketball.
Yeah, and it caused the whole thing in the locker room.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked the thing about because like in the locker room, like
Yeah.
well, I'm afraid that they're gonna stare at me. But really, what I've noticed is it's the straight guys that want to stare.
Right. It's the guys that need the validation that want
Exactly.
you to. So because that had just happened, my buddy asked a bunch of local gay athletes to sit on this panel and just answer questions. And I didn't even realize that there was a reporter from the Express News there. And she came up and talked to me afterwards. And that's when she got my name and all that stuff. And then that was like on a Thursday or a Friday. And then Sunday, that article was posted in like the life and style section or the community section of the Express News. And I was the only person named in that article. There were 5 athletes up there and I was the only one named. And of course, coworkers who got the paper, they saw it, saw my name, took pictures of it, and they sent it to everyone on our campus.
Oh shit.
So it went from like a moment of like being proud.
I got it twice. I was like, I already seen this one.
Yeah. So it went from like a moment of being proud, like, hey, look, I was featured in this article, and it was a very good written piece, very well written piece. So like, in the matter of like 30 minutes, was just like, I received it. I received a picture with the words, "What the fuck."
Oh shit, for real.
Yeah, and you, Georgia, you know who I was involved with at the campus. That's who sent it to me.
Oh, okay.
You know?
That makes a little sense now.
Yeah,
But
I don't mean to dive deep. So you're involved with someone at the time.
yeah.
I thought just some random person from work to what the fuck and sent it to you.
No. And
Imagine
then,
if they didn't even know. It's like, hey, did you see that this David Alfaro? You know, and I go, that's me.
yeah.
Imagine if that's what I was thinking. Somebody just saying like, hey, look at this.
What did this article say?
He works for this school district. Like,
It just it really shared my coming out story, and then
But at the time, I guess a lot of your coworkers didn't know.
I wasn't out. I wasn't out yet.
nobody knew. Actually, and I'll say this, like everybody, not everybody, but a lot of the women thought he was a good-looking guy. And so like no thought of like, obviously the thought of like, it came with everybody. Is he gay? Is he not gay? Is he this or that? Is he friends with the principal? So that was for everybody, but they all, like a lot of the women there thought he was a great looking guy, and so they wanted to know more about him.
This is what teaching does. It takes away your looks and gives you grays and all that shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see the
Yeah, I don't see it either anymore.
But no, so that's what it was like, and so nobody thought of David was gay, and I didn't even think that it either. Like it wasn't, and because again, for the same ignorant mind, we're looking for like the mannerisms or just fully.
You're looking for the stereotypical feminine man that
Exactly
that is the visual representation of a gay man.
Yeah, like our fraternity brother Victor. I don't know if you've seen our other podcasts. Not as lame. I love our brother Victor though. He's cool.
He co-hosts this podcast every now and then.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
can make
But that goes along with my post from a few days ago. It's like people have also said, well, you don't look gay. Like, well, what do I need a fucking horn coming out? Do I need a tail? You know what I'm saying? Do I need to be
a pink shirt
does
or
my
something?
skin need to be rainbow tint for me to look gay? Like there's no one looks gay. You know what I'm saying? We have, mannerisms, like especially the really effeminate men have mannerisms and they're easily spotted. But you'd be surprised if you ever go to like a Pride Fest or any kind of gay festival, there's men and women there of all shapes and sizes. And like even my best friend's like, man, that guy's really hot. I would have never thought he's gay. You know, or that guy doesn't look gay. And then, you know, and that's just the mindset that my post was trying to like make people aware of. Like, no one looks gay, no one is going gay. We are gay.
Except the ugly ones. The ugly ones are not gay. I'll tell you that.
Well, they're well, I won't even say it. Never mind. All right.
Okay. But you know, I'll say this. Like, I have one of my closest friends. He came out to me way after college, and apparently everybody knew except for me. I never thought, oh man, this guy's gay. And come to find out, like, I was the last one he wanted to come out to, and which I have no idea why, because when he told me, I was like, okay. Like, I'm more offended that you thought that I should be the last one, or, you know, like you had that fear to, you know, but yeah, I've never saw anything. Like, every now that when we hang out, I see, you know, some mannerisms is like, oh, you know, but
yeah,
I think because he's more comfortable around me now. And I don't even.
I have a similar story with my best friend. My best friend from 6th grade, all through high school and college, he was the last person that I came out to as well, and he felt the same way. He was like, "Why am I the last one?" And I think for me, it was more of like, we've trusted each other for so many years, right? Through so many ups and downs in our lives. And I couldn't even trust him enough with this secret. And I thought it was like a fear of like, when I tell him, he's going to reject me. He's going to think that I've been lying to him this whole time, whatever the case may be. And when I told him, he said the same thing. He was like, okay, you're still my best friend. I still love you. He was like, now I don't have to worry about fighting over girls with you. Like, that was that's how we broke the, you know, the awkwardness. I was like, yeah, you're right. Never again. You know, and we're still friends. We've been friends since I was in 6th grade, and I graduated 20 years ago. So almost 30 years.
I think with me, he came out and we were at a bar, and it was already like so many drinks in, and he says it. And I was like, I want you to know. And I was like, fuck, dude, for real? Like, but like, why am I? And then I was trying to be serious. Like, why am I the last one? Like I felt like I should have been the first one. Maybe not the first one. I'm not that fucking special, but, you know, like, you shouldn't have had that fear to tell me.
Right.
But that awkwardness was, broken because there was another guy who like is a really close friend with us as well, but he's at the time he's a really close friend to all of us. He still is, but he came in the picture later. Like, maybe like he had been in the picture a few months, and so he says it, and he's just yelling in the background, I knew it. I called it.
That wasn't me, right?
No, I can't say his name.
Was I drunk?
No. He's actually the only reason. Sure. No, we met him later in life. Like, he wasn't from our college times.
Oh, okay.
You've met him.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
So, yeah, he just, I knew it. It was like, and so he had to be like, that awkwardness was broken. It was like, we'll talk about it later. Let's just have fun. Don't worry about it. I don't care. You're cool. You're still the same person. Whatever. Let's just fucking move on.
Wait, you were a little bit of a dick back in the day. I would have thought like, shit, dude, like, not to come out to you either. Shit.
But tonight you can.
Yeah, tonight. Yeah, let's do it live.
Still young too.
Hey, very quick though, going back to David, where you said your best friend, we're like, cool, I don't have to compete with girls with you anymore. And so I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, and it's nothing offensive, it's just a copyright issue. So George will cut this out though if it's not allowed. So there's this comedian I really like. His name's Felipe Esparza. I don't know if you guys know who he is though.
No.
But in one of his bits though, I just found it so funny. His brother's gay, right? And his brother's really handsome and everything. And you know, when they're out at the bars and stuff or the clubs, you know, girls are like, he's gay? what a waste. And
Yeah.
he's all like, but I'm not gay. And they're like, what a shame. Fucking, hey, George, if we could get Felipe Esparza in the podcast, that'd be great, bro.
He liked the post that I posted, and it's not about him. It's about David right now.
Right. But anyways, though, oh, what a waste, bro! What a waste!
What a waste! Broken hearts all over the world.
Dude,
I still get MySpace messages.
The what?
I said I'm still getting MySpace messages about how I break hearts.
MySpace, damn. Hey, that's probably
still trying to put you in their top 8.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we haven't done the shares in a while. Hold on, let me finish this.
Hey, what is your? I just noticed. Your shirt says "Jotos y Recuerdos."
Yeah, it says "Jotos y
Shit, you're
Recuerdos."
right, dude.
Yeah,
Dude, see, fucking worm laugh, dude. See, that's another word. Like Spanish, saying gay in Spanish, that's hardcore. Like the word "joto."
that's bad. When you get called a joto, those are fighting words.
Yeah. Well,
Unless you're wearing it in Pride Month in rainbow print, then it's good to go.
yeah, man. I mean, almost any word in Spanish sounds like a fight word.
Yeah.
Because I literally like just Wednesday I went to go get a haircut, and I do like there's this gay guy that used to cut my hair at this place, and I haven't seen him in a while, and so I wanted to ask like, hey, what happened to him? But I never knew his name, and so I was like, and then everybody only talks Spanish, so like I was like, I can't say like, it's easier for me to say, hey, remember that guy? You know, he used to work here. He has, and I would first say. He has all these tattoos. He's real skinny, and he's gay. I would say like that. But everybody talks Spanish, so I'm like, el señor que tiene los tatuajes. And then I was gonna say es joto, but I was like, I can't say it. I can't say it. Like it sounds too
not bad.
It's not bad, but it just sounds too like. It sounds too like hardcore in Spanish.
I mean, you could have said maricón.
Oh, that's even worse.
That's even worse. Man. I know, right?
Is it worse though?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it
the way? Yeah.
Versus joto.
It's worse.
I feel like it rolls off the tongue softer as like joto is like joto.
That's true. It does come out easier, but
you know what I'm saying? Like,
but
you can whisper it, maricón. And when you say joto, you're like,
I won't even say. I've already said joto a few times on the podcast. I won't even say that word.
Yeah. Bleep that out, but leave mine in.
Yeah, I'll leave yours in. Oh man, that is
growing up.
There's that I couldn't. That's a word right there. Yeah. But it's also like because you know the way that I grew up with that word is the same as mandilon. So like it's kind of like trying to like again that machismo thing of like, oh, you're not supposed to be a mandilon and you're not supposed to be up,
right?
You know, so. But that's the whole thing of like putting yourself like that Hispanic culture of not being accepted or not accepting yet in that situation. I think it's gotten better, definitely. But I mean, who knows? I haven't talked to my tios and tias in a while about it, but I remember like it was a thing.
You know, in it. None of that machismo stuff was ever said, right? It was just always implied in the way that your parents talk to you, or more specifically, your dad or your tios or your grandfather. And it was almost,
well, it was an expectation,
right? But it's almost like it's an inherited trait, right? That's like handed down generation to generation because of the way our everyday communication was with one another. But I didn't even know growing up what a gay man was. Like I didn't know what gay was until I watched MTV's The Real World and they had a gay cast member. And then this is in the 90s. You know, I was already either in middle school or high school. And at that point it was like, that's what I identify as. Like there's a term for it. This exists. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause like I said earlier, I thought this was just like, this is how you feel towards your close friends or your best friends. And then as I got older and realized, oh, this is actually something that exists and how someone identifies as. Once I understood that, then it was like, okay, now how am I going to break it to my parents and my family members, and not just my parents, but like my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my grandparents, because I come from a very, very religious and very, very Hispanic upbringing. You know, I wasn't allowed to tell my grandfather, and and he passed away not knowing.
Dang.
Wow.
Hey, I really want to go
Wow,
into
that is-
that. I really want to go into that, but before we go into that, I just want to mention going back to like George was saying, Theos. I don't know. I guess I just want to mention this because I just found it so funny. Because I would always have an uncle, Joto, and then if they would turn around, ya ves, you know what I mean? Or he would tell me, hey queer. He would call my dad queer, hey queer. I don't know why, just wasn't, but you know what I mean. But it's but even to this day, because George said like he hasn't talked to his uncles about it, but I still have a Theo to this day, who because I'm not married or no kids or nothing, and so he'll be, hey, so but so derogatory, he'll still be like, hey, so how many boyfriends do you have? And it's like, okay, mother. But I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, and even if that was the case, like, what's wrong with that, though? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? But so I still think some people are still stuck in that mindset, though. You know what I mean? But it's just and I don't know if it's because we're in Texas, because it's very conservative, so maybe some of that has kind of maintained, but I don't know. But anyways, kind of transitioning now to the religious thing, though.
Oh,
Like,
before we do that, because that is it's weird because those jokes were around, and that's what I'm like I'm remembering like those jokes were around, and it wasn't like,
well,
I
to
don't-
me,
I
they're
don't
still
think I've
around,
ever took
actually.
it-
So, you know,
well, I mean, I don't when I said my tios and tias, like, and I don't mean like my tios and tias were actually, like ugly like that, but the jokes were
mine
there.
are then.
No, I mean, the
Hey,
jokes
I
were
want to
there.
mention one
The
more thing,
is-
and then we'll move on.
No, the thing is, like, here's what I'm saying. Like, the jokes were there. There's no shying away from it. We made fun of it. And I think that's where the ignorance from me when I finally like, I'm from a little border town, so
I'm from a big border town.
coming to San Antonio, it was like a big awakening of different kind of people that I hung out with, and a whole different. It was a culture shock, and which was weird because here in San Antonio, it's still predominantly Hispanic. But the jokes were there, like that, like, hey, how many boyfriends you got, or hey, Joto says what and what.
Right.
You got like,
Get? But I didn't say what.
but and yeah, they were funny, and I guess maybe at this point, maybe it wouldn't be in good taste to do anymore, but
Oh hell no.
or maybe they weren't even back then, and you don't know any better. But the jokes were there, and what I'm trying to get to is that I don't think I was ever exposed to somebody actually being gay versus knowing that you did not want to be gay. You know what I mean? Like, I guess for me, like, the way I got from those jokes is like, oh, you don't want to be gay. And I think that goes along with your post, is like, it's not about wanting, it's like who you are. But the way I think this, and again, this is just what I took away from that situation before, broadening my perspectives of certain things. That was the joke. You didn't, or the punchline. That was the thing. Like, you did not want to be gay. It was bad. I didn't understand what it was because I was never exposed to it, but somehow it was just bad, and you have to be the man.
And that's what it was, though. It was being gay was being, and maybe more so in the Hispanic culture, right? The Latin culture, but being gay was being seen as not manly, not masculine, not macho. And again, this is going back to those visual stereotypes that we were talking about earlier, right? Like, you see the effeminate man walking down the street, that guy's gay, right? Because the way he walks, his mannerisms, the way he talks, whatever the case may be. That's where, at least my experience with my family and my father, that's where that came from. Like, you need to be a tough boy. You need to be a strong man when you grow up. You're going to play sports because it's going to build character and discipline. If you're going to go in the military, you know, go the hardest route because that they're gonna make a man out of you. That and that's, I mean, I'm sure, I don't know, but maybe you guys heard that growing up from your elders, right? Like you just needed to be a man, and being gay isn't being associated that or doesn't or didn't at the time associate with being a man.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
What do you think was the first person to break that stereotype of like feminine, a feminine man is gay? Like, where it's like, no, a man can be gay and also be like a motherfucker. Like he can be a man and kick your fucking ass.
I mean,
like, do you think there was anybody out there that?
I mean, okay, so I'll break this to you. Like, and I don't know if you know this, George. I don't know if we talked about this before, but I'm a WWE fan, right? Like, I've been a wrestling fan since I was a kid. My dad took me to my first match when I was in first grade, and I fell in love with it then. But like one of the old school wrestlers, Pat Patterson, he was the first openly gay pro wrestler. Openly gay. Now I know there were other gay wrestlers before him, but openly gay. Everyone in the WWE knew it. I mean, it was he's been out for the longest time. And for me, like that's a perfect example of someone who is gay but doesn't fit the stereotype of a gay man. Because I was completely shocked when I found out that dude was gay after reading a biography, a piece about him. And it was like, holy shit, you know? And this dude was never looked at differently by Vince McMahon. As a matter of fact, he was one of Vince McMahon's most trusted, you know, employees. He's the guy that created the Royal Rumble. And every year up until he died, he was the guy that mapped out every one of the Royal Rumble matches. Like, that's how trusted he was by Vince McMahon. And I mean, didn't look gay, didn't act gay.
Yeah, I didn't even know until he died that he was gay. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that was
another wrestler too, the Brooklyn Brawler. That's another gay wrestler. Again, doesn't fit the stereotype.
I don't know.
And then you have guys like Prince, who everybody thought was gay, right?
Oh yeah, and then
but he wasn't.
Yeah,
but he wasn't.
Yeah.
So, and he was definitely an effeminate man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bodysuit, heels.
Dave Chappelle made him look like a badass too in one of his skits.
I was just thinking maybe like there was somebody that just broke that mold that was like the thing, because I think there was a shift. I don't know, maybe it's just me that noticed something, but and maybe it's always been there, but there was a shift that I noticed at one point where it's just like, dude, like the gay guys you're seeing now are just like chingones. They're like just fucking like they're a man's man kind of thing. Like, and they just happen to be gay too.
No, they've always been around. It hasn't always been socially acceptable to be out.
And maybe
so
it's the fact that there's social media now and we're all
right. And the fact that it's more socially acceptable to be openly gay. And this is just as recent as the Obama administration. You know, when they repealed Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and Obama recognized, you know, Pride Month and recognized marriage rights and insurance rights and next of kin rights, all that for gay couples. And this is only 12, 16 years ago. So
yeah, that's true, huh? Shit.
It wasn't until that
Wow.
it's been a while, yeah. But it wasn't until that it became more socially acceptable, more the norm, that you saw people living their lives to their fullest, and it being okay. And this is when corporations started getting behind, you know, and promoting their product, promoting their support during June, during Pride Month. Whereas to now, you see any and every company posting a rainbow filtered logo during June, because, you know, it's not going to hurt their business as much as it would have 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
How do you feel
actually, I want to
about
go into
that?
some.
Well, the same people, like the same companies, they say, I don't want to name a company that, but there's a certain like companies and they'll promote gay pride, but then like in this country, like let's say, okay, in this country in
Yeah,
June,
like Chick-fil-A.
gay pride, and then all of a sudden in other countries they're not promoting it, or they're not. Does that make them feel like is that like just feeding into the fact that we're just trying to hit the
Yeah.
people that are shopping for us, you know?
Yeah,
Do we
yeah.
really
So I
give a
had this
shit about, you know, gay pride?
I had this conversation with my husband on the way back from Houston a couple weeks ago. We were talking about how
You have a
more and
husband?
more.
You're married?
I'm married.
You're gay?
Oh, this isn't the Pride Channel podcast. Oh shit.
What are we doing here? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, Too Hard Too Fast does sound like should be on the Pride Channel.
So we had this conversation about businesses and companies marketing during Pride Month and how they're reaping the benefits and making more money off of gay people, specifically this month, but then they don't promote during the rest of the year. I personally don't have a problem with it. I think that businesses, whatever your business is, you have to market to what's hot, right? So in June is Pride Month. The comparison I made was like in San Antonio during April, normally it's Fiesta, right? So all the businesses, their marketing in San Antonio is Fiesta themed. They don't have Fiesta themed marketing the rest of the year. But those 2 weeks in April, you see everything, Viva Fiesta, Viva San Antonio, whatever the case may be. During the holidays, specific holidays, everybody markets, you know, Christmas commercials, Thanksgiving commercials, New Year's commercials, but they don't do that all year long. So a lot of people this year have been vocal, or especially on Twitter, you know, trying to cancel certain companies because all they're doing is marketing towards the gays during Pride Month. But I mean, this is what companies have been doing for years. They market, and their marketing is tailored based on what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they do it for like Black History Month. They do it for Hispanic Heritage Month, which I do want to say, I don't know why nobody has ever pointed out that Hispanic Heritage Month is the only one that is celebrated where it crosses from one month to another month.
Oh yeah.
Isn't nobody's ever pointed that out?
Because it's supposed to resemble how Mexicans go over the American border. You know, they always cross a border, bro. That's why.
What's up with that?
It's pretty symbolic. So
very symbolic right there.
That's marketing right there. That's like tying it to real life situations.
I know, right?
We're gonna have to build a border wall between the
build a border between those months. Hey, David. Actually, I so I do want to go into I guess some of I guess your religious family and all that stuff. But because a lot of my tias and tios, they do come from you know, they are very religious, they're very involved in their church. That's a big sin, though, right?
I'm telling them, he's teaching this dog the wrong way, man. Like how he reacted real quick.
He did react.
I know. So, but anyway,
Triggered him.
I mean, that would. Hey, shut up.
There he goes again. I'm triggered.
Anyways, I just found it funny because no one would ever.
I'm a bitch, you son of a bitch.
Hey, but I guess that kind of did happen with you, though, right? It literally did get posted on the newspaper.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, and I guess I just never really saw the repercussions of holding or giving an interview and telling my coming out story. But you know, to the point to the point of your story about religion, I'm born and raised Catholic. I'm confirmed Catholic. You know, and I haven't been to a Catholic church service other than like unless it was a funeral service or a memorial service for my grandparents. But I don't go to Catholic church, and I haven't been for at least the better part of 20 years.
You should do. Half of the priests are gay. I'm just like, hey, George.
Well, it's joking. More than half. It's only half the time.
It's up to George if he wants to keep that in, but
it's funny. I don't know. I don't think I need the Pope coming after us.
Hey, and by the way, for the people out there, I'm still Catholic, all right? So, but it's all good.
Yeah, so
but how was it though? So very quick though. So at least in my family, I literally have over 30 cousins. I have a bunch of tios and tias. And so at this point, at least, so far we only have one female who has come out publicly that she's a lesbian. But as far and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong for this though. I do feel it's a little bit easier for a female to come out than it is for a guy to come out. And I could be totally wrong. Maybe it's equally as hard, right? But nevertheless, though, I just feel like so she's come out. I mean, a lot of us are like, okay, well, whatever, it's all good. You know what I mean? And some of our tios and tias, especially if they're very religious, they're like, well, that's a sin and blah blah. But let's say, yeah, whatever. But I for whatever reason, I just feel like if one of my male cousins were to come out gay, I just feel like that would be a way worse situation, you know, for him, outcast and all that. But I mean, I could be wrong though. But nevertheless, though, how do you feel coming from, or what was your experience being in that, I guess, religious family and all that?
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely can second that sentiment, in that it's easier for women to come out, or it's easier accepted when.
So I'm not wrong in that thing.
No, and here's why, and this is why is corporations, companies, the country, politics, they're run by men. Historically, it's been leadership worldwide, with the exception of a few, has been historically led by a man. In general, it's a man's world, right? So to speak. And I don't mean to offend anyone, but I'm just talking about historically, as far as world leaders and all. And what do guys like to watch? You know, they like to see girl on girl. I mean, shit, even when I was discovering porn, I watched girl on girl. You know, and it's sexual, it's sensual, it's erotic, it turns guys on. So when guys find out that there are two girls here, for example, we go to a country bar and you see two girls dancing, you'll see all the guys watching the girls dancing, because one of the girls is really hot and one of them looks like worm. You know what I'm saying? So
that was funny, dude. Shit.
So
that's fucked up, dude. That's fucked up for the girl, but it's okay.
Yeah. But the guys are watching the girls dance and they like it because it's their fantasy come to life, right? Put two guys in that same dance club or that same country bar dancing, they're gonna get booed out, they're gonna get bullied out, they're gonna get pushed out, or at least talked about negatively, because that's not what is attractive or erotic or sexual to the straight man. So that's why
I never thought of it that way. Yeah, you're right.
That's why I think it's easier for girls to come out. I'm not saying it's easy.
No,
right? But I guess it's more accepted when girls come out, because there's this fantasy about the girls.
Yeah. And I think for us, there's three guys talking, so we would need a woman's perspective to see, like, is it easier? Which I don't think it's easy for any, like you said, it's not easy for anybody, but is it accepted? I think it's only because we're still three guys talking, and clearly the woman's body is a lot more attractive than any guy's body, even if you're gay or not. Me?
To you.
Oh, no, what I'm saying is that
even saying I was attractive,
even if you're a gay man, you would say just not even as attractive, like as attractive as I'm attracted to him, but like it is just better looking.
No,
would you agree
no, you're right. I can see a hot girl and be like, she's beautiful.
Oh yeah. We're regardless, like, let's say, your husband loves you and he's blinded by love, but
true story.
But if you just stand out there in all your glory, it's not the best thing. It's still a guy's body, and a guy's body is a guy's body, and it's just like there.
Yeah, unless they look
and
like
that's what
300.
society says. That's what, like, society says. What is
300 was a good movie.
They look thirsty. Well, let's give them something to drink.
300 was a good. Every guy saw that movie though.
I don't know what happened, but I watched it a lot of times.
Hey, I still haven't seen Magic Mike, but I've been wanting to watch it though. I heard the story.
Stick with 300, bro. Stick with 300.
Stick with
Fine,
300.
fair enough.
Really?
Maybe
All right,
then I'm wrong, but I think it's just like the fact that like society does hold a woman's body. Well, I guess not. And
Well, you're talking about straight-minded societies.
Well, I was just talking in general.
Fucking
Like, no,
ignorant
I thought I was talking in general. Like, I honestly thought in
Right.
general, like a woman's body is just supposed to be a pristine. Like to me, I think it's just pristine. Like, it's a creator of life kind of thing. And so, no, am I overreaching here? Because I feel like,
Hey,
but I
women need
think,
sperm, bro, to create that life.
hey, and guess who's got a lot of that?
Exactly, bro. Unlimited, bro.
but
I
maybe
mean,
I'm
but
overreaching.
I get what you're trying to say. I
But
get
you're
what you're
wrong.
trying to say, but I think that's coming from your subjective point of view.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, I can say that a girl is gorgeous. I can say, for example, I'm just going to go back to WWE. This wrestler, Natalie or Eva Marie, right? She's hot.
Oh, she's back.
Yeah, she's back and she's hot. And I can say that, right?
Yeah.
But am I gonna be attracted to her more so than my husband? No.
Okay. Well, no, that makes sense. But let's put it in this way. If you were to be given, you can see Eva Marie in all her glory, or you can see the Big Show. Nah, that's not a good show. Let's who's like a really attractive guy?
Roman Reigns.
Brad Pitt.
You said Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns. Oh, I was
Oh.
thinking of that other guy.
Hey, bro. So my middle name's
has, like,
Roman,
the-
so I thought like, oh shit, me. Oh, wow. He did research on me. Shit.
I was thinking of the guy
Thank you.
that does like the demon, like
Finn Balor.
Yeah, so let's Finn Balor and
Finn
Eva
Balor
Marie.
hands down, bro.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
well, then that's a different. Yeah,
And
okay.
I can't even say that name in front of my husband because those are fighting words.
Okay, fair enough. I can see that because then that clearly shows the perspective line because okay, so it was like a straight man looking at it a different way.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the point that I was trying to make earlier is that, like, the world has been built on heterosexual men leading countries.
Okay.
And that's why being gay has been such a hot topic for centuries because it's a shame, or it's not a shame, but it's a stab at like that masculine persona, that facade that makes countries strong, makes world leaders strong.
Or at the very least, they portray themselves to be heterosexual.
You're right. They portray.
I remember in high school, this guy, he would have told me, hey man, Alexander the Great, he was gay. All right. Hey man, George Washington, he was gay. Like every guy. Hey, Abraham Lincoln, he was gay. It's like, oh shit, dude, okay, everyone was gay then, I guess. You know what I mean?
All great leaders.
But you see that now with politicians, right? Like the most conservative right-wing politicians who are so anti-LGBT policies, it ends up coming out that they're leaving hotel rooms or getting caught with, their assistants who are male.
Yeah, or even pastors or
even,
fortunately priests. But.
Exactly.
It almost comes down to like the whole bully thing where like you're bullying somebody because you can't deal with your own facts.
Right.
True. All right, David, we won't keep you too long anymore. I think there's so much that we can talk about, and I would love to have you back on to talk about more of this kind of conversation or any other conversation. Maybe we'll talk about the Red Sox.
Invite me back anytime. I can talk.
Ooh, hey, we should have him. And so you're a big hockey fan then, David?
No. I'm a Red Sox fan.
That's baseball.
Oh, my bad.
Baseball.
I'm sorry, my dog's distracting me. I'm sorry.
But yeah,
you want me to leave?
No, I feel like we can talk for forever, but I can only edit for so much.
No, you're good, bro.
So I would love to have you back on if you're willing to come back on.
Yeah.
I do want to ask one thing. Did that article just oust you out to your coworkers, or did it it force you to come out to everybody?
No, that article was the article that blended my personal and professional lives. Because up until that point, I'd kept them separate. So all of my family and close friends knew already. But this was the first time that people from my workplace knew. And people that I didn't even care to come out to or care to share my personal story with now were invited into my personal lives or personal life. And so that's what that article did.
Did it make you uncomfortable at work at any point or anything like that?
No, because it came out in the summer. And so I was at some writing training, and our principal at the time, she attended a couple of days, and she pulled me aside and she said, "I'm very proud of you for telling your story. You've got my support. Don't worry about anything." And so that made it comfortable for me and easier when I showed back up the following year for, that first week of training. I wasn't worried about it.
And we're going to close out with two things. Worm's going to do the honors for the last question, but is there any kind of like words of wisdom that you want to share for anybody that may be listening that is struggling right now with their own coming out story or anything?
Yeah,
maybe already out and dealing it with their own career stuff.
Yeah, I would definitely say live your truth. It's scary, right? Wanting to be vulnerable enough in the workplace to let anyone or let everyone in. But there are more people in the workplace that will support you than will hold you back or put you down. And I've learned that the last couple of years with the different campuses that I've worked at. So I would say live your truth, but also live it at your own pace. There's no time limit or time constraint onto when you need to come out. Do it when you're most comfortable and when you feel that you're ready to be vulnerable enough to do it.
Perfect. Love that. Worm, do the honors.
Hey, man. So this is too hard, too fast, bro. Do you have a too hard, too fast story? And if you don't feel comfortable of something about you, and by too hard, too fast, you drank too hard, you drank too fast, you blacked out in 2 hours. That's what happened to me. You know what I mean? Multiple times.
Yeah.
I got one. Or if not, maybe of a friend, or you don't have to mention their name. You know what I mean?
No, I'll go ahead and share one.
Any too hard.
It was a couple years ago, actually. One of my husband's best friends was having a float, so we rented a bus, like a party bus, and we took it up to the river, right, in New Braunfels. So we were going to go float. It was BYOB, so everyone brought liquor. Everyone brought other party substances on the bus on the way up. And needless to say, I drank a whole lot of vodka on the way up.
Hell yeah.
By the time I got to the river, the last thing I remember was getting on my float in the river. And then the next thing I know, I'm waking up in my bed 8 hours later.
Oh, shit.
That was my float trip. Stories have come up that I went up to one group that was playing Slap the Bag, and I did a 30-second chug. There was a couple of stories of me
Slap the Bag. What is that?
Slap the Bag is the bags of wine, Franzia wine.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Right, you take it out and it's got that nozzle, right? So you get under it, you slap the bag, and then you pretty much chug.
Yeah.
Well, they were holding a contest to see who could chug the longest, and the guy before me was at 20 seconds, and I was like, I got you, I can beat that. So I think I chugged wine for over 30 seconds.
And you were already drunk at this point.
I was already drunk. Yeah, because I don't remember any of this happening.
A whole bag of wine.
Yeah, and then on the way out of the river,
that's badass.
On the way out of the river, I tried to fight some dude. Then we made it back to the bus, and apparently I passed out and slept the whole bus ride home. But I don't remember any. The last thing I remember is getting on my tube in the river when we first got there.
Wow. And for people that don't know, that's almost like a 3.5 hour float.
Like a 4 hour float.
4 hour. There you go. Dang. That's badass. Dude, I literally just got back from floating the river. My brother's visiting. We just did it right now. And we've had some too hard, too fast stories.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to get really drunk on the river too.
Yeah, that sun's hitting you.
That sun gets you.
You're purposely dehydrating yourself.
Yeah.
That's a too hard, too fast story, and we've just gone too hard, too fast. David, once again, I appreciate that you came on the podcast to tell your stories, to share your stories. You're always welcome. I'll let you know. Like, I'll hit you up, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I love this. I think there's so much that we can talk about. So I would love to have you back on. But with that said, Worm, what are you gonna say?
Hey, live your truth. It's okay to be gay today.
Yeah.
Hey, that was pretty good. It was okay, actually.
Not yesterday, just today.
Just for today.
Just for today.
But with that said, dare to be you, dare to be weird. Bye. Está loco.